If I may, I would love to ask you yet a word about this remarkable moment several years ago where you were asked to write an arrangement of We Shall Overcome, Atlanta Symphony.
Yeah.
What an amazing piece. Could you bring us back to that, what that experience was like for you?
Sure.
That opportunity and invitation.
Yeah, well, I must tell you, my wonderful colleague, Dr. David Morrow, who has really been singly the most important figure in terms of my writing for men's voices, had an influence on that. And he basically said, this is something that you should talk to Dr. Brown about doing, because he's at Ebenezer, he knows the family can do this, that, and the other. And it was Ben Rowe at National Public Radio who says, let me ask him and see if he's willing to take on the project. And it was really a short timeline, because they did not have a central musical work that was sort of the highlight of the celebration. And so he said, I want something that is emblematic of Martin Luther King's whole mission and whatnot. And We Shall Overcome, what is more iconic than that? But I don't want a simple strophic setting of the freedom hymn. I want something that is a more elaborate and broader kind of musical expression, but that uses that as a basis. And so that was an interesting challenge that was given to me. It was for Martin Luther King's 70th birthday celebration. And I accepted it for two reasons. One of them is because I was at Ebenezer. I've been very close to members of the King family for a very long time. I just did an interview with Bernice 2 days ago down at the COP Energy Center in Atlanta. And we talked about her mother and her family and the tremendous impact, which a lot of people don't know, that she had on music and freedom and the place of African Americans, even in terms of integrating the symphony halls and whatnot. But I thought, this is an opportunity to say something musically here and perhaps elevate this simple but powerful freedom song to a level that resonates in broader circles. And so I got to work, and I had to work fast, as I said, because the timeline was short. And I stayed up late nights and pulling together these themes, but I ultimately decided I'm going to merge this hymn with another spiritual. I ain't got weary yet, because this is 70 years, and we're still on the journey. We are not at the end of the road. And so that is why I chose to use what you will hear at the beginning of this work in the Shali, da-dee-dum-bee. That's the theme. I ain't got weary yet. I've been on this journey a mighty long time, and I ain't got weary yet. So I used those, I juxtaposed that melody with We Shall Overcome in a way that was, in terms of this compositional construct, one that elevated it to a work worthy of the symphony orchestra. And it was, in fact, commissioned by National Public Radio to be performed by the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. To date, it's been performed about 22 symphony orchestras across the country, and it's done at some places on a yearly basis. So it's had a good deal of success, and it was heard across the world by more than 400 radio stations. So.
What did it mean to the Ebenezer church family and to the King family? Do you have a sense of the conversations back there when that piece was sung?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Mrs. King was living then. She was there. This is Coretta. Yeah. Mrs. Christine King Ferris was, the whole family was there. It was a high celebration, first of all, because the symphony had done something that it continued for many, many years, and that was the tradition of building something around the King celebration that could be represented in a way by the orchestra for the community, which I think was fantastic. The place was packed. And they were immensely proud, and I have in my house right now a poster with the names of the other composers and whatnot, but I had the pleasure of writing that piece as the central piece for this celebration. And one of the big reasons they were so proud is because I was director of the Ebenezer Choir, and they not only sang a section on that concert, but they were part of the 5 choirs that did this, including Morehouse and Spelman Glee Clubs. So it was a huge chorus with the full orchestra, and it was done in the Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel before it was done at Symphony Hall.
Amazing.